Part 1 gave you the famous names: David, Solomon, Daniel. This is Part 2, 50 names most people skip. Rare, powerful, waiting to be rediscovered. Let's go. 8 names forged in battle. JOAB, Yahweh is father, David's ruthless general. Won battles David couldn't. Also murdered rivals David protected. Effective and dangerous. A name that carried weight and blood. Abner, father of light, Saul's army commander, switched sides to David, was murdered by JOAB before he could prove his loyalty. Light extinguished too soon. BENAIAH, Yahweh has built, killed a lion in a pit on a snowy day. Yes, really. Also killed an Egyptian giant with the giant's own spear. David's bodyguard, the man you wanted on your side, Jephthah. He opens, an outcast, son of a prostitute. His brothers threw him out. Yet when enemies attacked, they begged him to lead. The rejected one became the deliverer. Barak, lightning. Deborah told him to attack. He said only if she came with him. Some call it weakness. Others call it wisdom, knowing when you need help. Othniel, Lion of God, Israel's first judge after Joshua, delivered them from an oppressor. Then the land had peace for 40 years. The lion roared once and rested. Ehud, unity or strong. Left-handed assassin, hit a blade on his right side where no one checked. Killed a king, freed a nation. Weakness became advantage. Shabna, sword or cupbearer, killed 600 Philistines with an ox goad. One verse, that's all we get. But what a verse. 8 warriors down. But not all strength is physical. These next names belonged to men who built, created, and designed. 7 names that create. BEZALEL, in the shadow of God. God filled him with skill to design the tabernacle. The first person in Scripture explicitly filled with God's Spirit. For art, creativity is called Oholiab. Father's tent, Bezalel's partner, master craftsman, worked on the tabernacle's most sacred pieces. 2 artists building the place where God would dwell. Hiram, exalted brother, the master craftsman Solomon hired for the temple. Bronze work so intricate it still inspires architects. Not an Israelite, but chosen for the holiest project. Nehemiah, Yahweh comforts, cupbearer to a Persian king, heard Jerusalem's walls were rubble, rebuilt them in 52 days. Comfort came through action. Zerubbabel, lead of Babylon, born in exile, led the first wave back to rebuild the temple. Born in captivity, died in the homeland. The seed planted in Babylon bloomed in Jerusalem. Jabal, stream, the father of those who live in tents and raise livestock. First nomadic herder mentioned in Scripture. Some legacies aren't thrones, they're trades. Jubal, stream or ram, Jabal's brother, father of all who play the harp and flute. The first musician, or Cherubim worship through melody, started here. Builders make things. But some men were named before they existed. Prophetic names given by God himself. Those are next. 10 names spoken before birth. Cain acquired Eve's first son. She named him, I have acquired a man from the Lord. The first human birth. The first prophetic declaration over a child. The name was hope. The life became tragedy. Noah rest or comfort. His father Lamech named him prophetically, this one will comfort us in our labor. Then Noah built an ark and saved humanity. Comfort came after the flood. The name was prophetic. Path was unexpected. Manasseh, causing to forget. Joseph named him in Egypt. God has made me forget all my hardship. The prisoner's son, named to bury pain. Sometimes a name is therapy. Ephraim, fruitful. Joseph's second son, God has made me fruitful in the land of my suffering. Egypt was his prison. Egypt became his garden. The land of suffering bore fruit. Perez breach, or breakthrough. Born pushing past his twin, the midwife said, "How you have broken out." Breach became the bloodline. King David came through Perez, the breakthrough that broke the pattern and led to a king. Maher Shalal Hashem's. Swift to plunder, quick to spoil, Isaiah's son, the longest name in the Bible. A prophecy of Assyrian invasion embedded in the child's name. Every roll call was a warning. Lo Ami, not my people, Hosea's son. God told him to name his child this as a message to Israel. You've rejected me, so you're no longer my people. Harsh, true, Shir Jashem. A remnant shall return. Another of Isaiah's sons, another prophecy as a name. Destruction is coming, but not total. Hope hidden in syllables. Jedediah, beloved of Yahweh, Solomon's other name, given by God through Nathan the prophet. Reuel, friend of God, Moses' father-in-law, also called Jethro, the priest of Midian, who gave Moses wise counsel. When Moses was overwhelmed leading Israel, Reuel taught him to delegate. The friend of God, who befriended the prophet. 25 down, halfway there. If you haven't seen part 1, 50 more names are waiting. David, Solomon, and Daniel. Link in the description. Now, the faithful servants, men who did the work without the fame. 10 names that served quietly. Onesimus. Useful. A runaway slave. Paul met him in prison, converted him, sent him back to his master with a letter. Once useless, now useful. The name became true. Epaphras. Lovely. Founded the church in Colossae. Paul said he was always wrestling in prayer for his people. Lovely, because he fought on his knees. Epaphroditus. Charming. Delivered gifts to Paul in prison. Nearly died doing it. Charming, and almost martyred friendship. Philemon. Loving. The slave owner Paul wrote to about Onesimus. Asked to receive his runaway slave as a brother. Love tested by forgiveness. Barnabas. Son of encouragement. Not his birth name. The apostles gave it to him. Sold land to feed the poor. Defended Paul when everyone else was afraid. Encouragement as identity. Stephen. Crown. First Christian martyr. Saw heaven open as stones crushed him. Crowned through death. Philip. Lover of horses. The evangelist. Preached in Samaria. Explained Isaiah to an Ethiopian official on a desert road. The lover of horses who spread the word on foot. Aquila. Eagle. Tent maker. Worked alongside Paul. Risked his neck for the apostle. The eagle who stayed, grounded to serve. Apollos. Destroyer. Eloquent preacher. Knew only John's baptism until Priscilla and Aquila taught him more. Powerful and teachable. Timothy. Honoring God. Paul's protege. Called him my true son in the faith. Young. Timid, yet trusted with churches. The nervous one who honored God anyway. 35 names down, 15 to go. These last ones are deep cuts. Names buried in genealogies and footnotes. But everyone has a story. 8 names from the margins. Jabez. Pain. His mother named him for her suffering. He prayed for blessing instead of curse. God granted it. The name didn't have to define him. Enoch. Dedicated. Walked with God so closely he never died. God took him. 3 words for one of the most mysterious exits in Scripture. Methuselah. Man of the dart, or his death brings. Lived 969 years, longer than anyone. Died the year the flood came. Some say his name was prophecy. When he dies, judgment comes. Kenan. Possession. 5th generation from Adam. Easy to skip, but the line continued through him. Sometimes presence is the legacy. Mahalalel, praise of God, sixth from Adam, another link in the chain. Praise of God carried through generations before temples existed. Pelet, division. In his days, the earth was divided. One verse, massive implications. Was it continents, nations, languages? His name marks a mystery. Eber, one who crosses over, ancestor of the Hebrews. The word Hebrew may come from his name, a wanderer whose descendants became a people. Shem, name or renown, Noah's son. The line of the Messiah came through him. His name literally means name, and his name became famous. 7 more names. These are the unusual ones, names that feel strange on modern tongues. But each one has fire in it. 7 names that stand out. Obadiah, servant of Yahweh, hid 100 prophets in caves when Jezebel was killing them. Servant and rescuer. The name and the mission aligned. Zephaniah, Yahweh has hidden. Prophesied judgment and restoration. God hides some people for later. Zephaniah was revealed when the time was right. Habakkuk, embrace. Asked God hard questions, got hard answers, embraced them anyway. Faith isn't absence of doubt, it's trust despite it. Nahum, comfort, prophecy of the fall of Nineveh. Comfort for the oppressed is judgment for the oppressor. The name held both. Haggai, festive, preached during the temple rebuild, told the people to stop neglecting God's house. Festive, but fierce about priorities. Zechariah, Yahweh remembers. 8 visions in one night. Prophecies of the Messiah riding a donkey, being sold for 30 silver pieces. God remembers, and God reveals. Mordecai, follower of Marduk or warrior, a Jewish name from a pagan god. Yet Mordecai saved his people from genocide. Raised Queen Esther. The outsider name held an insider hero. 100 names across 2 videos. Conquerors, prophets, builders, servants. Forgotten men in footnotes who carried the line forward. These aren't just sounds. They're stories. Legacies. Declarations spoken over sons for thousands of years. Now you know them, if you started here. Go back to part 1. 50 names including David, Solomon, Moses, and Daniel. Click the screen now or links in the description. And next up, 100 biblical names for girls. Same depth, same stories. Subscribe. You'll want those too.